It's the MVWF podcast. Post Danger Zone show. Pre Put Up or Shut Up pay-per-view with your hosts Damon Andrews and Eddie Stank. Oh, you're not?
I have things off right now.
Oh, well, that's fucking lame. Why did you do that?
Because I didn't know we were doing a post show thing. I thought I was going to set it up on the thing.
Well, hold on. I'm coming over there with you.
I put things over here.
Okay. All right, so we are live here on the MVWF podcast. I'm here with Eddie Stank. I'm Damian Andrews. Let's just do a quick recap of everything that happened on today's Danger Zone episode. In the opening match, Eric Danger made his debut against Mr. Nightmare. Came up short. What do you think of that, Eddie Stank?
Disappointing in debut for him, personally.
Turbotron upset us both by winning the Battle Royal. However, you at least got a little bit on your plate there because Walker was eliminated by the guy you did pick.
Walker was owned by my little bitch ass.
Okay. Kevin Welch, I would say, kind of surprised everybody by winning that three-way match as quickly as he did over Arn Patrick and Brandon Bones. And then Dennis, the Take-A-Hitman Hart, the guy we argued about all goddamn night, defeated Kid Christian in about 10 minutes. It wasn't like he went out there and had the epic that he did with Adrian Knight. So, I mean, and a lot of times when he does things like when he does the worm and stuff, you know, it's like Dennis just drags things out, man. Like, he likes to be in the spotlight. He likes to rub in the fact that he's there and Ryan Crawford is not.
Yeah, he just likes to showboat. But I think he got a cupcake match, so we'll see how he does against better competition.
Right. And, of course, right after that match, Chicago's own CM Punk decided to stick up for the town after Dennis had disparaged it and got his ass kicked for his efforts. Dennis remained on top.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. I'm sorry. Punk should have never came out for that.
Right. And, of course, we had a big tag team match, a street fight death match with the League of Shadows against the Victory Dojo. The Victory Dojo, once they finally got the pedals turning, they turned it up.
Yeah, it wasn't really that hard card of a match, though. We saw a table come out, and that was it.
Yeah,
so where was all the excitement of that having a no-holds-barred match?
Well, the fact of the matter is that pretty much the most ruthless move in all of wrestling is the Humanure. And Doyle finally busted that out after a long time of not seeing it. Whereas, people were wondering, like, the matches that Doyle did lose, people were like, where was the Humanure? Why didn't he go for it? You know, and here it is. Got it on the Shadow King, got it done, pinned him, and paid him back, I guess. Shadow King apparently will probably see Doyle sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I think the Shadow King's got some beef with him now, but I thought it was a disappointment for the Shadow King League of Shadows, to be honest with you.
Well, he is still the Super 32 tournament champion, and he's got a big title defense coming up, but we'll get to that shortly. And in our main event, what a main event it was. It was a complete fucking bloody battle royal riot of this four-way scramble. Main event, very unique match with very unique stipulations that applied to it. The Jackson Boys, the World Tag Team Champions in the MVWF, have a non-title match against three teams that they've already beaten. Well, or at least that they're above. I mean, they've never beaten the Bankroll Boys until today.
Right.
But point of fact, though, is that three teams were getting a chance to face them in a non-title match to earn themselves a tag team title match at the pay-per-view. Instead, the Jackson Boys got to ostensibly or retroactively, with this victory, make this a successful title defense, making it their fourth consecutive title defense. And now they're gonna get singles matches at the pay-per-view.
Well, who's left for them to fight in the tag division? They've gone through everybody.
Sure.
I mean, maybe the Victory Dojo after beating the League of Shadows today, but other than that, there's no competition for them. So they're bored.
Right.
So now they're going to try their hand at solo for a little bit.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I got to say also one of the big news items to come out of this event is that the Destroyer, Nick Jackson, finally living up to his reputation and his name. Even though he was a bloody mess, this was a bloody, bloody show tonight. I can say that Nick really stepped up and reminded us of that potential he showed in his debut match.
Well, he's successful in 8-man matches.
Yeah, it would appear to be.
He took 5-6 guys out today. He took 6 out that first one. I mean, that's his bread and butter.
Yeah.
2 matches, 2.
Yeah, and after being disappointed in the 8-man scramble at the 20th anniversary show, the Jackson Boys had a lot invested in that match, bringing the tag team titles to the main event really on a solid foundation for the first time during Phase 2. And here they are at the top of the mountain now, ready to expand their horizons. And the Jacksonian is getting it done.
Yeah, we'll see who's the stronger of the two.
Right.
Going solo.
Okay, Eddie Stank. Well, I'm sure that you've probably consulted with AJ the Giant about where do we go from here. So it appears, already announced, AJ the Giant will challenge both Rock Holly and the Shadow King for both the World's Heavyweight Championship, which would be defended by Rock Holly, and the Super 32 Championship, defended by the Shadow King.
Yeah, I believe the Rock Holly match is some type of pit match.
The Fight Pit.
The Fight Pit match, I'm sorry.
That's right. It's inside a steel cage where only knockouts and submissions will decide the victory, and it's 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Knockouts and submissions?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's not the Giants' bread and butter, but hey, got to beat a man in his own game.
Well, you know what? I mean, the Giant, though, has had a pretty good track record against Rock Holly. In spite of the fact, thanks to the bear hug, the Rock Holly has submitted to the bear hug, though most of Rock Holly's injuries have really more centered around his shoulder and his neck. Not a lot of people have been attacking his midsection these days, though that is pretty much the Giant's specialty.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I mean, the Giant has a lot to lose in this. He
Right.
could lose both these matches, and there goes all that credit he's built over the last 2.5 years.
And, of course, in the semi-main event, the Giant will be facing the Shadow King for the Super 32 Championship. I mean, these championship opportunities, by the way, are being justified. If I'm correct, if I'm not being mistaken here, explained by both you and AJ the Giant. You know, considering that he is the booker now, and he's booking himself in 2 singles matches. No one has ever done that in the history of the MVWF, both in Phase 1 or Phase 2. No one has ever taken that kind of leap when they've had power. Not even Brandon Bones or Rock Holly or Dan Crane whenever he was in charge, or Alex Kindbud. I'm sorry to mention these names, but the fact of the matter, nor did the Skinny Wolf when he was in charge. AJ the Giant breaking precedent here, 2 singles championships. And the reasoning being is that he has a winning record one-on-one against the Shadow King, and the most recent matches that he had with Rock Holly, he has a winning record as well.
Right.
Now, the Shadow King has defeated AJ the Giant in tag team matches, and Rock Holly has defeated AJ the Giant most notably in 2 places, both in the finals of the World Title Championship tournament at the beginning of Season 1, and again at the end of Season 1 in Match Mania.
That is true. But the Giant has beaten Rock Holly in the what was the first?
The B1 Climax tournament. He beat him, and he beat him a couple of times after that, which are the most recent ones. And, you know, things at the beginning of Season 2 were not going well for Rock Holly, which made him vulnerable to being absorbed into the League of Shadows. And now AJ the Giant is, at Put Up or Shut Up, is going to give himself the double title match. Never been before. Eddie Stank, tell us, what is your prediction? Will AJ the Giant win one or the other? Will he win both? What do you got to say?
I think he wins at least one. I can't guarantee 2. That's a tall task, even for the Giant being a tall man. But I think he wins one of the 2. If I was a betting man, I would say he'd beat the Shadow King first and probably lose to Rock Holly because that's just the way it works. But it's unprecedented to win both.
Right.
But as you said earlier, the Giant has reasons to be in either one of those matches. And the logic for him taking 2 and trying to unprecedentedly do things, because he can.
Well, let me put it to you like this. As far as how my prediction goes, I'm going to tell you in no uncertain terms that I absolutely believe that AJ the Giant will win both belts.
You think so?
Yes. I think that the stakes are too high, that an opportunity like this has never come before for anyone in the MVWF. And after all of this, keep in mind, we've got 2 seasons prior to this of the Giant who, I mean, you can criticize the Giant and say that he was waiting for his turn as opposed to taking his turn.
Yeah.
And this appears to be him shifting gears on that. And to me, that's a positive sign.
Well, yeah, we also said that at the beginning of this year, this is going to be the high-powered, full-bodied season. So it's going to be all high energy. So you got to take chances. You got to keep up in the game. So I think that's the case. I think the Giants stay up in the stakes, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay. All right. So another big match that we have in store. Apparently, want to announce it now that Dennis the Hitman Hart is going to take on CM Punk.
Well, after the embarrassment Punk just had, he's got to prove his worth because that was a bad run-in. I'm sorry. That wasn't even worth the time. He would have been off for just saying some words.
Right.
Probably did more damage.
Yeah, I mean, he put him up on the shoulders in that Cobra Clutch torture rack kind of move that he had, and Punk immediately tapped out. It was so painful.
Yeah.
And he did it right in front of the Chicago crowd that immediately demanded that Dennis the Hitman.
Kevin the Hitman. Wow.
They demanded that he goes away.
Yeah. So this is just going to be a little bit of a rivalry match. I don't think it's going to be not going to help. Well, it might help Dennis's cred a little bit to beat somebody veteran like Punk.
Right.
But it's not Dennis's future.
Right.
Just a match.
Okay. And so we've got 2 matches now for the Jackson boys.
Yeah.
Kyle versus Nick versus.
Yes, who do we want to go that way? I don't have a clue right now.
All right, so we can get back to that. You can ponder that. You've got until next week to figure that out.
I really don't know that.
Actually, you've got until like Monday.
Oh, Monday.
At least according to what Brandon Bones said, because he wants those events out to him a lot sooner so that he can spend more time preparing.
Oh, he needs more time. You're right. Okay, so I'll get that done by the end of the week.
Okay. All right. Do you realize what you just said right there?
Yep. Well, the end of the week Sunday. It's the day before the due date, right?
Right. Okay. Oh, well, all right, fine. I guess, like if...
Hey, am I going to miss those wonderful voicemails telling me that I'm a fucking douchebag and need to get a message out?
All right. Okay.
What else do we have that week? Doyle. Who's Doyle going to wrestle? I don't know. I really haven't put much thought into it yet. It's still early. I think Turbotron should be on the show. Mm-hmm. Hey, I think Turbotron and Eric Danger should wrestle in the undercard.
Okay.
I think that wouldn't be a bad match. See if Eric Danger is what he says he is.
Okay.
Because I don't know anything about him, but he didn't really show me much this week.
Okay. So we've got 6 matches so far.
We need one more.
And it better be a doozy.
No, I don't really have one in mind. That's the problem.
So we need who's not wrestling so far? Kevin Welch ain't wrestling. He just won a big match, of course. Aaron Patrick is not on the show. Brandon Bones is not on the show.
Well, I think Bones is beat up after this one, so we're going to get Bones a week off.
Okay.
He just gets involved. He's got to come out for 2 matches of mine as my little side guy.
Right. Okay. He's got to support his guys, so he can't be so sweaty to be wearing a suit and all that stuff.
Yeah, that wouldn't work. I'm thinking... Don't know. We're going to think about that, though, because I really don't know. Unless you got a suggestion.
Well, I think Kyle should wrestle Adrian Knight.
I thought that. That actually crossed my mind. That would work. That's Nick, by the way.
Okay, right. I'm fixing.
So,
okay.
Nick... This might be over the top. Nick and Honky Lips.
Okay.
I don't think they've met yet.
They probably have, probably in the B1 climax. No. Okay. I'll look it up and stuff. I think they've wrestled before.
Oh. I think it would be a good little matchup. It's a step up for Nick, and it's Kyle renewing a rivalry with Adrian Knight, who's trying to move to that next tier. Okay. Break through the glass.
Okay. So here's what we got so far. AJ the Giant will challenge Rock Holly for the MVWF World's Heavyweight Championship in our main event in a fight pit match. The 2 out of 3 falls, steel cage, knockouts, or submissions only match. AJ the Giant, prior to that, will also defend in the a challenge.
Yeah. I like the way that sounded. What about Brandon Bones and Kevin Welch?
Well, I mean, Brandon Bones did defeat Kevin Welch not too long ago.
Well, I mean, Bones has been crying for better matches.
Right.
Feels like he's being overused, though, so I think he needs time off. I don't know.
Right. Well, that one could. Well, I guess if you've got a whole week to figure things out. And stuff
it'll be done by this Sunday. So you have it for Monday.
Oh,
okay. Not the following week.
Oh, I see. All right. Well,
Well, I only come up with one match. I got plenty of time.
I guess, but I mean, I've seen the emails, bro.
Emailgate 101.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. I want to see Pink Eye wrestle too. Sorry. I want to see Pink Eye wrestle, but there's nobody to have him wrestle. Oh, Walker, Aaron Patrick. Who's the one I'm trying to put over? I don't remember. Patrick? No. Walker.
Notice who when I mentioned about how Mr. Nightmare is kind of the underappreciated guy, we're not even considering giving him a match on this pay-per-view, are we?
Well, I mean, who's he gonna wrestle?
Yeah.
There's too many people. Not enough matches. Too many people. Especially with Dennis and Punk and I can't read the writing, but Turbotron and Eric. What about? I don't want to do a 4-way. I don't know. So I mean, do we really want to go back to the rivalry between Nick and Nightmare? Rehash that again, like we're doing Kyle and Adrian Knight.
Well, I think your Honky Lips match works for me. I mean, because those are two guys that are kind of meeting each other in the middle.
So who's Mr. Nightmare going to gatekeep for in this? You know, who's he going to wrestle to try to put over if he loses? I don't really have.
I guess he's just got the week off.
You probably come out with Adrian Knight.
I mean, yeah. Well, all right. So now all of a sudden they've reconciled. Is that what we're saying?
Well, they got a tag tournament coming up. They got to get their shit together, I think.
All right. Okay. Fine. All right. Not a big deal. All right. So
here, Brandon Bones can wrestle. We'll put Brandon Bones in the ring because I'm pissed off at Brandon Bones for his promotional thing with Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put Brandon Bones against Kevin Welch and Mr. Nightmare, and see if Bones can hold his own.
Another 3-way match.
Yeah, Brandon likes 3-ways. A whole lot of beefcake.
Not that kind of 3-way.
Oh, God, Bones. That's going to be good. Yep.
All right. So, no, I don't want to do that match.
You can't decide. You're not the guy.
I'm not the guy.
You sign the checks and do the promos. It's your own fault for putting yourself in there. I warned you. I can't go after Dennis because Punk's already going to try to avenge that for us. I got to go after Brandon Bones, which is screwing myself over in the end, too.
All right, so Bones.
That's a tentative. We're not guaranteeing that's the match, but that could be in the line.
Mr. N versus Kevin. Well, the thing is the only objection I really have is that on Kevin's behalf, he just won a 3-way match.
Well, did you see him out there with the hose? He's a familiar person to the 3-way.
He had a 3-way in the ring, and then he had a 3-way at the hotel afterwards.
Never mind. I'm not going to go that far.
Just like Brandon Bones likes to do.
I was going to go with Paige, but that's okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, all right, folks. Well, that's pretty much your preview of Put Up or Shut Up coming up at the next week's pay-per-view. Thank you for joining us. What an event we've had today. I got to say that the arena for Put Up or Shut Up looks pretty good there with all the skull entrances. I made that shit this morning. My skull collage.
Yeah, it's a nice little skull collage. You forgot the one from Goonies, but yeah, they look pretty good.
Yeah, okay. All right, folks. Well, that's it for us. We are out. I'm not playing the fucking outros theme this time. Fuck it. We will see you next time.
See you next week.